Now at 10 o'clock tonight, a major freeway shut down for 12 hours after a man is shot and killed by DPS troopers overnight is once again back open. The shooting happening near the Loop 101 and University Drive in Tempe. The scene caught on camera, but tonight we're stopping the video right before the shots are fired. DPS telling 12 News this all started with a call about an erratic driver. Troopers say they tried talking with the driver, who then refused to follow their commands, then barricaded himself inside the car. Later on, troopers say the driver flashing a gun, that's when they fired. The DPS Major Crime Unit now taking over the investigation. So far, the name of the driver has yet to be released. Tonight, Phoenix detectives are searching for answers after a woman is found dead inside of a West Valley home. Officers say they were called to that home near 27th Avenue and Indian School Road for a welfare check. Police say they found blood outside of that home before they entered. They say they found the woman dead inside and had signs of trauma. Anyone with information on this case now urged to call silent witness. A Valley woman getting quite a scare while driving on a Valley freeway this weekend. She says it's amazing she was able to stay on the road as a snake crawled across her windshield. 12 News journalist Gabriella Becerra sharing her story tonight.
There's no such thing as a free ride, but in this story, there's an exception to that rule.
I'm pretty sure he was enjoying the ride. He looked like he was just living his best life.
Lauren Waldvogel shares her relatable reaction.
Oh my God!
To a gopher snake.
I think a snake got out of the car!
Hitching a ride.
I remember just sitting there and I'm like on my phone and I just kind of like looked up and I was just like, oh, there's a snake on the hood right now.
More than 500,000 Instagram users liked the most Arizona thing that's ever happened to Waldvogel.
I'm like, what are you doing here?
She says the reptile likely came from her Cave Creek ranch, where it's not uncommon to see a gopher snake slithering around.
They do a lot of pest control, so I never kill them when I see them or anything. I just kind of like, all right, you just stay on your side of the area and I will stay over here. Please don't come too close to me.
This snake may have gotten a little too close for comfort.
But I didn't actually see where it went.
Waldvogel says it's either somewhere in Mesa or collecting free rent in the hood of her car.
I'm going to be driving cautiously to be checking every direction just in case I have a surprise friend through my vent.
Gabriella Becerra, 12 News.
Like, it's my life. And it's not right. What he did, it's not right.
Tonight, the owners of a Valley jewelry store burglarized with so much of their inventory stolen in a matter of minutes. Take a look at this scene that happened early Wednesday morning at the Lakeview Boutique near Hayden Road and Via de Ventura in Scottsdale. Tonight, one of the store's owners talking with 12 News about that break-in and says why it will be easy for someone to spot that stolen merchandise.
And they know my jewelry. It's not like jewelry from
Like
no, it's not like this. It's every piece. It's like something unique.
Tonight, 12 News is staying in contact with Scottsdale police as they continue their search for that suspect. Police in Chicago say they arrested nearly 70 people during a pro-Palestinian protest outside of the city's Art Institute today. Police say the protesters set up an encampment at a garden on the museum's property, then barricaded themselves and locked the gates. Investigators say the protest appears to be student-led. Officers arriving at the museum hours later and warned demonstrators to leave. When they did not, officers moved in to arrest them. No one was seriously hurt. Here at home, a few hundred people rallying in Tempe to show their support for Israel and Israeli hostages during the ongoing conflict in Gaza against Hamas. They're also showing support for ASU students who they say may feel threatened by all of the pro-Palestinian protest. Organizers of today's march telling us it's important to have their voices heard as well.
As I see what's going on all across the country, campuses being taken over by supporters of terrorism, Jewish students being intimidated, American flags being ripped down, it was important to come out and show the broader community that there are people who stand against this. We're students here on campus. I'm myself faculty. It was important to come out and make a statement for the community.
ASU police say a woman arrested today is a counter-protester in connection to last week's pro-Palestinian encampment protest on the campus. Police say that woman was caught on video during those incidents spray painting the ASU sign in front of Old Main. New at 10 o'clock tonight, Arizona Senator Mark Kelly now speaking out about recent pro-Palestinian protest on Arizona college campuses. Arizona's junior senator says once demonstrations cross the line into committing crimes, that people should be arrested. Kelly making those statements during an interview this morning on NBC's Meet the Press with Kristen Welker.
What do you agree with?
Well, I mean, you have some individuals, a certain group of them, that show up to peacefully protest. And then you have others that want conflict. And in some cases have even assaulted police officers. And those individuals need to be dealt with appropriately. And students on campus should be able to go to classrooms, get their education, not be intimidated. And the rising anti-Semitism that we've seen is of great concern for me. And I think it should be for everybody in elected office.
Kelly says he does support the right to peacefully protest, but does say that law enforcement should step in when needed. Tonight, the Secret Service looking into a deadly crash that happened outside of the White House last night. Officials say that car was speeding right before it hit the White House gates. The Secret Service tonight says there was no threat to the White House. The driver died at the scene. New at 10 o'clock tonight, here's something to think about. November's election exactly 6 months from tonight. Candidates trying to fill Kristen Sinema's soon-to-be empty Senate seat have already shelled out millions of dollars. A viewer in Mesa reaching out to 12 News, wanting to know where all of that money is coming from. Tonight, 12 News journalist Kyle Simchuk learned that most of those donors don't even reside here in Arizona.
Out-of-state donors are pouring money into Arizona's Senate race. Kari Lake's campaign has pulled in $5.7 million so far. Only 32% of the money is from Arizona voters. Ruben Gallego's campaign has raised a lot more, $20.8 million, but only 26% is from people in Arizona who can vote for him.
Well, I mean, the race just couldn't be any more important from a national perspective. In determining who controls the U.S. Senate, Arizona's, likely to be a state that's going to determine that.
Democratic political analyst DJ Quinlan says that's why voters in all 50 states are chipping in to what's expected to be one of the most expensive Senate races in Arizona history.
More and more, these U.S. Senate races are national races. They're run within the state of Arizona, but it has a national importance.
This map shows where Kari Lake is getting the most individual contributions from outside of Arizona, California, Texas, and Florida, where Lake has held fundraising events at former President Trump's Mar-a-Lago resort. Ruben Gallego's campaign is also getting cash from California, Texas, and Florida, as well as blue states like New York and Massachusetts.
You have donors across the country who are, looking at all of these races, and they're giving their hard-earned money to candidates they think that are going to determine control of the Senate.
12 News also looked at top donors to Gallego and Lake's joint fundraising committees. Scott Shermer, the owner of a real estate development company, gifted $100,000 to Lake. So did businessman and author Robert Kiyosaki. Both men live in the Valley. Gallego's fundraising committee received their top donation from Illinois Governor and billionaire Jay Pritzker, who contributed $21,600. The same amount was given by Marcia Grand, the widow of a prominent Arizona trial attorney living in San Francisco. Despite making a name for herself nationally, Kari Lake is still trailing in overall contributions, roughly $15 million less than Gallego. Quaylen says Lake needs to raise more money if she wants to control her message to voters.
Ruben Gallego's been on TV unanswered for about 7 straight weeks. He's introducing himself as a combat veteran, as somebody who's really doing the work of the people of Arizona. And Kari Lake just hasn't been on TV.
You can expect to see a lot more of those ads as the November election gets closer. Kyle Simchuk, 12 News.
Tonight, fire crews have gained the upper hand on the sugar fire burning at Tonto National Forest. Tonight, we've learned that fire, now 70% contained, It sparked yesterday and so far has scorched more than 240 acres. Right now, there's no word on exactly how it all sparked. Let's talk weather tonight. Windy and cool across the day, but it won't last much longer. Let's get you ready for the start of your new work week. Here's meteorologist Chris Dunn.
Yeah, Jonathan, 85 degrees today in Phoenix. That was pretty nice. 5 degrees below the average on this date, Cinco de Mayo, but temperatures will be on their way up. 88 tomorrow, back into the 90s by Tuesday and Wednesday. And boy, was it windy today. 63-mile-per-hour gust in Winslow, gusting more than 60 miles an hour. Window Rock and Flagstaff, a 56-mile-per-hour wind gust in Williams, but the wind is really backed off tonight. 10-mile-per-hour winds, Sedona. These are the wind gusts at this hour. Winslow, though, is still gusting to 30 with the tail end of a little jet stream energy kicking off some rain showers for Flagstaff and snow in the higher elevations. In fact, this is Highway 64 up through Tucson. Marty, one of our 12 News weather watchers, took these pictures to the entrance, the south entrance to the Grand Canyon. And just a couple of hours ago at the Snow Bowl, the flakes were flying. And in fact, they are still skiing at the Arizona Snow Bowl through the weekends in the month of May till further notice. Meanwhile, our normal May weather gets back on track. I'll show you what that looks like in our forecast coming up.